Happy Friday, everyone. Who needs a drink? The end of the week. Do you? I think I do. Actually, no, I don't really. My daughter was in town all week. So we went out to some dinners and stuff. It's been a busy week. Contractors coming over to the house. Problems with leaking roofs. Bashing in stuff. Resealing it. Repainting it. It's a fucking nightmare, honestly. But anyway, you don't care about that. You want to hear about the new Omega watch. The new Planet Ocean. That's what you want to hear about. And other things. How's everyone? Got a few people in the room yet? Oh, sorry, I'm just setting everything up here. I dropped my daughter off at the train station earlier and came back. Freezing cold here at the moment. We have the border. It's a wind that comes down from the mountains around this time of year. The first snow happens. Boy, oh boy, that wind at Cochin too. So I brought her to the train station and came back, and I was like, I'm going to take a little snooze. It turned into a long snooze. Tom Navalny, who will be roasted today? Let's start roasting people. Why not? Fucking life is short, guys. Life is very short. Let's roast. Let's roast. Having some coffee. What have I got on the wrist? I got one of my watches. I've got the Vermilion dial Frollo Ferro di Prua. Handsome devil. You can find that watch on channel.com if you're interested. Actually, I got some new shots of the new watches that you might be interested in seeing. There is there's a PayPal just came in. Who was that from? Missed that. Damn it. Yeah, there it is there. That's the Frollo. That's what I have on right now with that configuration. It's, I think, my favorite one. You see, Philip Manning. I should have known it was Philip Manning. Thank you for the PayPal, Philip. The other one is this new one. Cadoro. But I got some cool shots. Let me see if I can find them. Because I just posted them, not publicly, but just for reference. YouTube is handy for that. Reference video. Because I wanted to show the lovely, it's hard to capture the exact look of everything. How's it going, guys? Anyone firing up a cigar this evening? I might do that in a moment. This way. And then share. And then I can do full screen, correct? Yes. So yeah, I just captured. It's hard to. This is the blue one. I'll put that on in a sec. It's hard to capture all the funny lights. Why is that low quality? That higher quality, please. Thank you. But I turn off the main studio light for a moment and just use my phone so it so it captures the striations on the stone. You see that? That's the brown one, the tiger eye. You see the way the light grabs it? See that? That's the beauty of stone dials. They do a lot of funny little tricks. So you'll find those. That's the tiger eye. It's one of my favorites. There's the link for the store in the chat. Yeah, I just love the way, sunlight and different light, different angles grabs the watch in different ways. There's the malachite. I just delivered one of those to FedEx yesterday. There's the turquoise. Similar thing. And then finally, I'll be able to show you what the Aventurina really looks like. See all the sparkles on the Aventurina? See the way it sparkles like the sky at night or something. So yeah, proud of those. So what are we talking about? Quiet Piggy. Quiet Piggy. You guys proud of that? Proud of your vote? Amazing. There was one guy on my Instagram today. He's like, he didn't say Piggy. It's been debunked. Catch up. I'm like, fuck off. Of course he said Piggy. We all heard it. Where was it debunked? On fucking Newsmax? Tell me where it was debunked. Give me a break. I don't know. But the truth is, those who love him don't care. They would say, Quiet Piggy also. Nice thing to say to a lady, a reporter, whose job is to hold your feet to the fire. That's the fabric of a democracy, is to hold politicians' feet to the fire. Always expect the most from them. Your leaders are there to serve the people and their needs, not to be idolized, praised like a king. Unless, of course, you want a republic again. Is that what you want? You want to go back a couple of 100 years? All right. How about we go back 300 years when it was just red Indians, Native Americans? Where exactly do you want to dial the clock back to? Because I have a suspicion it's where it suits you. Anyway, I don't know. It's funny stuff. And last week I just learned about the blowjob. It seems it's completely true. I'm not surprised. Of course it is. Debaucherous behavior. That's what people get up to when they get power. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. If he likes a little bit of girls and a little bit of boys, that's his business. But I'm sure it pisses people off, especially his fans. Give us an info, guys. Tom Navalny. It's hard to spend money on those watches. You add a couple of hundred and you can have a tag from Chrono 24. Yeah, but a tag everyone can have. Tags are all over the place. You want to be one of the herd? Or do you want to be unique? It's up to you. find a tag in every bloody street corner. Ray, pork and duck pate and crackers with a ginger beer, followed by royal beef whisk and red wine, followed by rice pudding. You having a big meal over there? What's going on? James Smith finally pulled the trigger on a full gold GMT. Which one, though? Oh, he says it there. No, he doesn't. Trade did a 22 blue. So a 2022. Okay, I have to decode this. Datejust 41 smooth oyster. 2022 mint green Datejust 41. God, these are nice pieces. A mint green Datejust 40. Fuck. And £1,000 for an unpolished full set. Oh yes, he got the white gold Pepsi. That's what he got. 116719 BLRO. I had one of those on my wrist not so long ago. Actually, it was a meteorite dial one. It's really nice. I put it on my Instagram. So you already know, right? Because you saw it on Instagram, because you follow me on Instagram, correct? Nice watch. Congrats. How does that work out? It's hard to figure out how that does it work out money-wise. Well, I recently saw, what was it, on one of those trader dealer shows? Some guy who wanted a Patek Nautilus, or what was it? Something. Was it a Patek? An Aquanaut? Maybe it was an Aquanaut. Anyway, and he traded in so many beautiful pieces. I was like, what the fuck? You know, you have to be careful with your... Sorry about the bells, guys. They're normally finished by now, but we have the Festa of the Salute Church at the moment, and the fucking bells have been going all day long. Yeah, we know you're having your little Festa. You got it. You have to be careful that you don't just get bored of your watch or your watches. It's like, I don't know, you love your watch and then you wear it and then it loses its allure, and the thing you don't have is what you keep staring at online. And you don't look down at your own wrist and just appreciate that one that's on your wrist, which you once lusted after, right? I mean, it's 10:15. There's kids like in bed already, but no, they have to ring their fucking church because of their old superstition. Got it. They have big speakers outside the church. We could hear the mass last night. I wanted to go down and do a Daniel plain view on the lot of them. But anyway, just be careful, because you might be giving away some beautiful pieces. And I'm saying this from experience, because I suffer from this to a certain degree also. Some great stuff just because you're just used to it, you know? It's like you have a beautiful wife, but unfortunately you don't look at her anymore. And you just look at some girl at a different desk in the office or whatever. She becomes the apple of your eye. And maybe what you need is for your wife to leave you to realize what you had, you know? Same kind of thing. Like, so this guy, I don't know, I can't remember which episode or which channel it was. I watched some of these dealer trader episodes, but there must have been like 10 or 12 amazing pieces. There was a solid gold root beer in there. There was Datejust. There was a Daytona. I was like, there's no fucking way that adds up to just one Aquanaut. I was like, that's a guy who's bored. That's what that is. He just gave away some monumental pieces for a fucking boring Aquanaut. I don't know. It was real frustrating. It was also extra frustrating to see all the watches going to dealers because they probably fleeced him. I mean, they definitely fleeced him. I was thinking to myself, Jesus, man, just reach out to me and go, hey, I've got all these watches. I want to sell them. Can you mention them on your channel? I'm sure the audience would be happy to give you somewhere between the going market rate and whatever the dealer gave you. Christ. A lot of people are just lazy. They just want to walk into the dealer and take whatever fucking offer they're offered, which is usually pretty awful, let's face it. I'm going to light up a Porlanganiana, these cute little cigars that I picked up the other day. Habana. From Habana. Yes. So, well, congrats. Anyway, what was the chap earlier who said he just got the white gold Pepsi? Congrats. Beautiful. I guess it was a bunch of date justs you mentioned, right? Super sticker from James Smith. Thank you, man. P.S. Chult ZYPI. Nice, easy name to pronounce. Just picked up the first Omega in Space. Love it. That's what Dirk got. Dirk got one of those a couple of weeks ago. The first Omega in Space. Actually, he was gifted it by a viewer. It's astonishing. I have a little Barolo. Without it, there shall be no rant. And I know that's what you want, is a good rant. Yeah, do you like the first Omega in Space? Pretty watch. Very nice. On the bracelet, I assume. Mr. Bad Gas, $5. Apparently Trump was just being open and honest. Yeah, frank. That's what's her name? Caroline Levitt said. The president is very frank. Okay. Got it. Quiet, Piggy. Wow. But again, I don't have a problem with him. He's pretty honest about who he is. So you can't blame him for being him, can you? There is someone you can blame, though. There's about 70 million of them. Top G, I've both Daytonas steel. So you have the black and the panda. Nice watches. Yeah. Mind you, I have to say that going back, sorry, I'm dancing between watches and politics here. People were asking me about BBC. Should Trump sue the BBC? He absolutely should. Absolutely. For editing, doing that little tricky edit there. Sue them into oblivion. Not because I disagree with them. The essential message of January 6th that time, we all know what it was. They weren't really exaggerating anything. But by doing that little edit, they handed the other side ammunition, didn't they? Now they can all go, you see, it's the fake news media. Because it literally was fake news media. Thanks, BBC. You just fucking put us back 50 years. We'll never hear the end of it now. He'll keep regurgitating that shit, vomiting it up in his mouth so he can taste it again. For fucking 20 years. Great. So sue the shit out of him, Donald. Best of luck to you, man. They deserve it. What's this? The Bruculum. Teatro La Fenice, Mozart's Tito. Love to hear your review. When is it showing? I don't know. Is it showing right now? I don't keep up with what's showing at the Fenice. I should. Steer Pike, have you seen One Battle After Another? I have not, and I'm dying to see it. I'm dying to see it. We watch some movies. Every time my daughter's here, we sit and watch movies in the evening. So last night we watched Fargo because she had never seen it. The Coen Brothers, which was surprising. Then we watched something else. We watched Poor Things, which she loves, and I didn't particularly like. I found it to be very stylistic and beautifully shot and incredible sets and very bizarre performances. But I thought as a story, it was pretty weak. I like a good story. But it's formalism, you know. Formalism versus realism. And then we started watching that new Vince Gilligan thing, Pluribus, which is okay so far. Watched a few episodes of it. Not bad. So yeah, let's talk about the new Omega. Everybody's making videos about it. I just made a short. Literally a short. Because I passed the Omega store the other day and they were all in the window. Here's the thing though. Some of the comments are interesting. I'll get to them in a sec. Here it is. The new planet Ocean. I suppose this is positioned where the Sea Dweller is. The Sea Dweller 43. If you want to. I don't think Omega like to admit that they're in direct competition with Rolex, but it's hard to ignore, especially when they came out with smaller Aquaterras that were all colorful just after Rolex released all the colorful OPs a few years back. So what would you guys do? Would you buy this instead of an SD43? It's nice that it comes on rubber. I would buy it on the bracelet and then stick it on the rubber if they'll sell me the rubber separately. Because I like that flat bracelet with the high gloss center. It's 9,200 euros. Wow. For around that, or a little more, about 600 or 800 more in euros. Keep in mind I'm speaking in euros. Somewhere between the dollar and the pound. You can get yourself an SD43 in the grey market. You can't get one at that price from the AD, but you might be offered one at the AD because, you know, things are back to normal now and certain pieces are easier to get than others. But on the gray, you could get an SD43 for only a little bit more. It's a good looking watch. Not gonna lie. It's pretty nice. 42 mils. I think I'd rather if it were 43 or 44, but that's just me, you know. I'm a big fucker. So I suppose I should go in at some point and try it on. I've had a sordid relationship with Omega ever since Speedygate. 3 or 4 years ago, at least, when they brought out the new Omega Speedmaster. I was all excited because I'm such a Omega boy. And I went and tried them on, and they all had a problem. They all had hot spots, and there were sharp edges and rough edges. And I thought, that's not right. That doesn't feel right. So I made some videos on it, and it caused a certain amount of commotion, I think. This is the one I liked, the orange in the window. But it comes in a plain black, which didn't look as exciting in the window. But, you know, when you think about it, it's probably the smart one to get because it'll wear with anything. That one there, you know, that's a direct competitor to the SD43 or the SD43, I suppose. But the one that looks best in the window was that one. 9,400. Is that one more expensive just because it's got orange? Nah, come on. Seriously? Yeah. Why is the one with blue 9,200? Why is the cork on the fork? And the orange one is 94. Am I losing my mind here? Am I seeing this correctly? Anybody got an explanation for that? Thickness, time flies. I don't know. If only there were a way to find out. I recommend you buy a computer. Time flies. Thickness 13.79 millimeters, so 14 millimeters or 14 mm. Do you ever hear some of the reviewers say mm? I'm like, it takes the same time to say millimeters. Jesus Christ, you're not abbreviating anything. So it's 14 mm, which is a thick little bastard. It's not too bad. I think it's slimmer than the previous models. Look how thick that rehot is. I don't like that. That looks a little deep, doesn't it? Anyone come up with an explanation why it's more money? Oh, guess it's for the same reason as Hulk is more money, or the Kermit than the black sub. I see. So the orange is more than the blue just because it's orange. I'd understand if the blue and the orange were more than the black. Is that the case? Let's check. Where's the black gone? It's a bit confusing, this website. Here we are. No, but black is 92. So the black is 92. The blue is 92. Poking a slight hole in your theory there, my friend. But the orange, I guess the orange has orange numerals as well as bezel. Yeah, the blue and the black, it looks like they have just regular numerals and indices, whereas the orange one has orange color, and you have to pay 200 bucks for that. And it looked nice in the window on the orange bracelet too. That's a nice one. The only problem is you can't wear it with everything because it's so orange. It's going to stand out. There's only so many things you can wear an orange watch with. You know, you're not going to anyone's funeral with an orange watch. I hope not. I like that Omega have orange. Rolex don't have orange in their thing at all, do they? A little bit on the Explorer 2. But orange isn't really a thing in the Rolex world, is it? A little bit on the Milgauss. That's not in the catalog anymore, though. So what do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down on this? It's a good looking watch. I wouldn't say no. You know, it reminded me of a Seiko Samurai. A little bit when I first saw it on the bracelet. Andy London really likes it. P. Feldman likes it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up minus the prices, Derek. Is it too much money? You know, these watch brands, they continue forward. You know, people are always like, how are they raising their price? This is what they've always done. They don't, watch brands and other brands, they don't look at the market and go, oh shit, we better lower the price of our product. That's not a smart thing to do. A store does that if they want to sell out. You know, they want to clear everything out. But a brand won't lower their prices. They'll either leave them the same or they'll increase them. So they keep on keeping on. And when I first got into this stuff, you could get a Speedy out on the grey market for $3,000, 3,500 euros. They were everywhere. You can't find one now for $3,000 or 3,500. Any of them, even just the regular ones from like 2008 or whatever, the 1861s. They're all up at 4, 5, 6, whatever, depending on condition and box and all that stuff. And then the newer ones are more, and then the special old ones with the special shit are even more. It's just everything's gone up. We're pretty far from where we started, or where I started. I came into this back in 2018, 2019. Alton prefers a Cyclops. I'm one of those few people who doesn't mind the Cyclops on the SD43. A lot of people were up in arms about that. But I was like, I like it. It's very Rolex, you know. Here's Fergal. I prefer the previous Planet Ocean. I have the 43.5. Yeah. Big watch. Nice big statement. Yeah, Tom, it's called inflation. That's right. That's all it is. Things just go up with time. Just because the watch market has corrected itself doesn't mean that inflation doesn't exist anymore. We're coming up on 2026, guys. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. I was going to pull up that short that I did looking in the window because there's some interesting comments that I want to address. And as usual, my phone makes me look 80 years old. My phone just goes, okay, his hair is gray. Fuck him. Let me mute this. Yeah, there they are. See how shiny that I like the orange. I have to say it's my favorite. Putting the black in the display with those is probably not very fair because it's making it look very plain next to the blue and the orange. But there were some interesting comments. John Connor, black should have orange hour and minute hands just to give it a pop. Just looks like a Seiko, says the food father. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because that's what I thought. Had a very Seiko look. Jeffrey just tried one on. Very nice. Proportions are perfect. But there were some comments about the this guy, June, says saw it earlier today. Kind of small on the wrist. Previous model looks better. So he's probably a big guy like me. And this guy is obviously a big guy as well. When will they do them in men's sizes, 45 millimeters plus? Because some of us have big monster arms. Anyway, I can't find the comment right now. It would take me a while to find it. But there were people saying the following, or something to the effect of the following. Oh, at least there's no wait list on that one. And I realized I messed up in that little short because I forgot to zoom in on the little sign that was down on the left. Although I think a couple of people did spot it. That says for display only. It's a brand new piece from Omega. You can't just walk in and buy it. If you have some spend history with Omega, I'm sure you're going to get offered one, and they'll certainly have you in to try one on. But the truth is, all the brands play the exact same stuff that Rolex do. They just don't get away with it for as long as Rolex do, you know? They're just not as in demand. If they had the chance to do it, they would do it. It's not some decision from Nick Hayek saying, oh, Rolex are playing some sort of mind game. But we won't do that. We'll give everyone all the watches they want. No. Back during the spike, they released the all-green Seamaster 300M. A lot of people called it the Omega Hulk. And it was a waitlist piece. And so was the 321. In fact, I think the 321 Ed White is still a waitlist piece. I don't think you can just walk in and buy a 321 Ed White. A lot of their pieces are reserved for their preferred customers, or they have a limited number of them. There's Emeritus. Hey, man. The Palm 514 dominates that clip. Even the Black Dial Seamaster's edging towards the wait list. But nothing pulls the eye like a proper Panerai. You were right. I forgot I had the Panerai in the end of that video. Thanks for reminding me, man. Good to see you in here. Thanks for the super chat. So I'm all wrapped up there. Pam, baby. The Pam. Good watch. So yeah, this waitlist thing just is something that they all do. They just, they can't get away with it that long. Eventually all those first customers buy them, and then it's like iPhone 17s. When it was announced, it was really hard to get. I went into the Apple store a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I'm curious. Maybe I'll make the upgrade. Maybe it's time. I'm still on the iPhone 12, and I do content, and it would probably be a good investment for the channel. Okay. And they're like, well, we only have the Max in blue available, and then we have the Air available. Like they had a limited availability because they were sold out. They got a shipment in, and the popular ones flew out the door. The 17 Pro regular size with 256, and then the 17 regular size in those standard ones just flew out the door because that's what most people are going to want. Fewer people want the Air. If you want an iPhone 17 Air or the iPhone Air or whatever it's called, you can probably get one because it's not a big hit. If you want a Max, the huge one with the terabyte, like the most expensive one is going to cost you over $2,000, and it's a big fucking Willy Wonka chocolate bar size, then you can probably get one of those because not as many people want that either. It's exactly the same thing as with Rolex. You want yourself a 31 millimeter Datejust, then you can probably get it soon. You want an Explorer 2 black dial, you probably get the call within a month or two. You may even get lucky and walk right out of the store with one because not as many people are mad about that watch. You want a fucking sub or a Daytona or a GMT, Batman, Pepsi, etc., etc. Dimitri, thank you for the PayPal, my friend. Then you got to get your ass in line, don't you? And that line can be very long. Why? Because so many more people want that watch. I think Meredith is looking for a PAM 514, by the way, if anybody has one. I think he likes the one I have on the burgundy strap. He's such a big Panerai guy. Follow him on Instagram. His PAM shots are amazing. Beautiful. They really capture the spirit of Panerai. So, this is a 43 mil watch. This Frollo looks right at me, right? Let me put on one of my other watches just so you guys can see. Put on the blue, the turquoise. Bit more flashy. The other one's more sporty. Nice. Really pops. Stork, I have the 17 Pro Max and it's great. Not going back to regular Pro. I had the 16 Pro. Battery lasts way longer and the size of the screen is great for every day. The battery lasts longer than the regular Pro. Well, you mean than the 16? Well, sure. There isn't a huge difference between the regular Pro and the Max battery-wise. There's like some 4 hours or something, but they're both really long. It's much of a muchness, I think. Now, my problem with the Max is you got to put that shit in your pocket, big, heavy thing in your pocket. And then when you're holding it in your hand, you got your phone like this and you're holding it, and you have to, like, just reaching your thumb out. You're doing gymnastics trying to reach across the screen, or you have to double tap to drag the screen out. It's like, fucking, there's a point at which it becomes impractical. But a lot of people live on their phone. All those influencer girls on Instagram, they always have the Max because that's their editing machine. That's their editor. That's where their world is. They need the latest and greatest constantly because all their content, their entire career goes through that little machine. They want the best one, the biggest one possible with the biggest screen because they literally live on the thing. I have big DSLRs, mirrorless, big fucking cameras with lenses all over the fucking place. Real lenses, real cameras. And I pump that content into Final Cut Pro and I edit it, and then it comes out looking like a movie. Totally different level. iPhone's never going to be able to compare or compete. But anyway. Benny Hill, well, good evening, mate. Steerpike, are there any other phone brands in the market worth giving a go? Well, that's Xiaomi. I don't think you can buy them in the States, though. Their new 17 Pro is even better. My daughter has a, whatever it is, a Samsung or whatever. It's huge. Screen is massive. It's super fast. Takes amazing photos. I'm like, God, we're all just stuck in the Apple universe here. That was always the case years ago. When I was a PC boy, PCs were so much faster than Apple products. But the Apple guys were so indoctrinated, they were so devout to their masters, their overlords in Apple. They just couldn't see outside. And I was a PC guy, like getting my hands inside the computer and pulling out cards and adding RAM and doing all this stuff. I was real hands-on. But eventually Apple caught up, and the Apple products were so much more expensive than PCs as well. So it was a contradiction. And I guess that's kind of the same now, because I think the greatest possible Samsung-based phone, what is it, like Google-based or whatever, Android-based is what I mean. I think like the best one out there is like $1,000 or something, whereas Apple, you're starting at 1,000 going up, Charles Thompson, the burgundy strap is a unicorn. You're the one on my palm. Yeah, I know. That's why I grabbed it. I was aware. I lost one before. I was ready to pull the trigger, but I hesitated. Fear causes hesitation, and hesitation will cause your worst fears to come true. What's that from? There's a quote for you. So somebody else snatched it up, and I was like, damn. So the moment I found another one, I was like, all right. Stealth, am I a Canon guy? I am a Canon guy, yes. I am. Sony are good, but Sony images are cold, clinical and cold. They're nice, but it has a certain kind of stiff coldness to it. Canon has a warmth and a kind of a rich cinema look to it. Just got to be careful about those reds. Just watch out for those reds, because you might find skin tones are a little bit, you have to give them a little touch to pull down the redness. But all my lenses are Canon. I'm stuck in their ecosystem now. It's like with Apple, you get stuck inside their ecosystem, and then you buy all Apple products because they're all compatible. You introduce some new technology in there, and it's a stranger. It's a strange body. Yeah, David Simons, it's Point Break. That's the quote. Stealth Check 5D Mark IV, shitload of pro lenses for me. Yeah, I use the R5. and I have two RPs, and a 200D. Fucking loads of shit. Too many cameras. And then I have the DJI, what's it called? Osmo. I have the 2 and the 3. Tree. I nearly said tree like a Dubliner. I have the 2 and the 3. So, yeah. But if you want to put out pro level content, you have to up your game. Frankie, quiet Piggy. Isn't it amazing that just came out? I shouldn't call a woman Piggy. I don't think I've ever called a woman Piggy, even in a fucking heated argument. I can think of more insulting words, I suppose, but Piggy? Then I thought, was she a little overweight and he's picking on her for that? That's really bad. But she wasn't. I was like, why did he say Piggy? That's so weird. Is that how you see women, Donald? The Brooklyn. I have a Leica M6. Ooh, nice. An iPhone 17. Yeah, that's a nice little combo. Shit. Very nice. A lot of photographers in the room. Jim Patterson, Utah. Get me 2. Utah, get me 2. Atlan has a 5D. Sorry, a Canon 1D Mark III. It's a DSLR. It's not mirrorless. I prefer a mirror viewfinder. Ah, interesting. The 5D was the one everyone loved for years, right? It's very popular. So I actually ordered the 17 Pro on Amazon, but it never arrived. There's an epidemic of people stealing phones in the mail, UPS, DHL, and especially regular mail. They see an Amazon box, and if it's the size and shape of an iPhone box, they should ship iPhones in huge Amazon boxes. You know, when you get a big box from Amazon and you open it and it's like a tiny little package, but the way it was shaped was odd, so there was no other way, and they had to just put it in a way larger box, and you feel like, what a waste of paper. It's terrible. I'm sure that's happened to many of you. They should do that deliberately with iPhones, because it was the same in the States a few years ago. I remember these guys handling the boxes, Amazon deliveries, when they saw there were new phones, they were just making them disappear. So I believe that's what happened to my order. I was supposed to be here on Wednesday, and it just never came. And then I got a notification from Amazon saying, we are reshipping your... For fuck's sake. It's like that watch that went missing. The Seiko that I ordered from Long Island Watch. Never got here. And you had to send another one. It's terrible. John's in the room. Happy Friday, everyone. I'd love to hear what Lenny thinks about the new Omegas. I don't have a very particular, like, strong feeling about the new Omegas. We were just looking I don't know if you came late, man. We are just looking at them. I like that they're pushing things forward and making new designs. That's a good thing. Updating the design. I think it really reminds me of a Seiko Samurai, King Samurai. Well, what should I put on next? I'll put on the CN. CN Orology. One of my favorites because it's both elegant, blingy, and also sporty. It's an Aquaterra killer. I like that they're pushing forward and moving ahead with new designs. Whenever Omega release a new Speedy, they always get shit, from people going, "Oh my god, guys, stop regurgitating the same bloody thing, cashing in on your cash cow there. Too many variations, etc." So they released a new Planet Ocean that hasn't had a whole lot of updates recently, so it's nice that they're keeping an eye on their full catalog like that, So in that way, I like it. It's also bringing attention back over to the Planet Ocean, which is a beast of a watch. 600-meter water resistance. That's fucking cool, And yeah, I know nobody's doing that kind of diving, especially with an expensive watch, but it's just cool knowing that your watch is it's invincible. Tom, you have a lot to say tonight, don't you? They caught a gang stealing iPhones in London, all of them been gone to China. Yeah, I saw they caught up on one of those guys. Big problem in London. You're standing on the street checking your phone, and a guy goes by on an electric push bike, and snatches it out of your hand. He's gone before you even realize what happened. Crazy. It's a big city. I can't tell you how many people write to me from there saying, I don't wear a nice watch anymore. I'll just leave it. I wear it indoors, I don't leave the house with a nice watch on my wrist. It's very sad, isn't it? It's the immigrants. Let's blame it on them, right? This town is pretty good. Milan is pretty dangerous. Naples is pretty dangerous. Rome. When I was in Rome, I was wearing gold GMT. And my friends were like, they spotted the watch and they're like, cover that. Keep your blazer sleeve down over that. Same in Bologna. The bigger and more vibrant the city, the more crime there's going to be. It's just a given. It's like New York. The smaller towns are going to be a little safer in most cases. Andy London. I'm from London and it's fine. You know what I thought about? And they just starts as the same thing. I wear mine in London. I've thought about that a lot. Perhaps it's just because it's a bigger city. and there's more news coming out of the city, perhaps the ratio of theft, phone theft, and watch theft is no worse than anywhere else. It's just because it's so fucking big. So many people in, was it 20 million now in London, in the greater London area. So it's just naturally going to have, more reports of crime. But not everybody is anti-London. 10 million, is it? I thought it was more than 10 million. There's a lot of people walking around with gorgeous watches in London. So, not all of them are being stolen. It's just that you're going to hear you won't hear from the guy who hasn't had his watch stolen, clearly. You'll hear from the guy who has. So, I don't know if it's that bad. One thing you should certainly not do when you're sitting in a fancy restaurant and you have a Richard meal on and you take a photo of your wrist, or a friend takes a photo of you eating your dinner, or your wife or whatever, and posts it straight to Instagram or whatever, going, oh, enjoying a lovely meal. Because then they know where you are. If they're keeping an eye on you, if you have a great watch collection, they know where you are. They just wait outside. London's a big place. Some places are lovely, some aren't. Like any big city. I agree. Glasgow is safe, says James. I walked around Dublin. Dublin's become quite a big city now with lots of immigrants. It's actually really great, actually. They're the nicest people I ran into. And I walked around with a bloody gold sub on me. Even in kind of some dodgy area. I mean, some people were coming up to me and they were like, what are you doing? What are you doing with that camera? It was the camera that attracted them. They saw the big lens and stuff. Because I have a zoom lens this long, So they come over and they're interested in the camera. I feel like they wanted to snatch the camera. They weren't even looking at my wrist, Some parts of Dublin are pretty fucking rough. But I never felt at risk. Mind you, you never do until you do, right? It's just the way of it. Marcel, last year in Bogota, 2 false detectives with IDs stopped me on the street, asked for my passport. That happens down south in Naples, by the way. How much money I had on, and for my iPhone to inspect the content, they left running with my iPhone. Wow. Yeah, a cop can't ask you for your iPhone. They need a warrant. They don't at the border on your way through the airport. They can ask you. They have the right. You don't have many rights at a border. But once you're inside a country, you have certain rights, and they can't just go through your phone. They need your permission or a warrant. Stork says, went to Dublin last year and I felt safe the whole time. Yeah, it's a pretty safe town. It is. Giuseppe, in Sardinia, especially in Cagliari, it's generally safe to wear a luxury watch. Well, Cagliari is it's very fancy, right? I mean, all of Sardinia, you're either sardo or you're a wealthy holiday jet setter. It's probably gorgeous watches all over that Costa Smeralda there. Why wouldn't there be? In Italy, when you don't have money and you want to go to the beach during the summer, you go to Jesolo, or you jump in a car and you go all the way down to Croatia, beautiful beaches and so on. Mind you, that's getting more expensive now in recent years. But it used to be like the cheap option. And then the wealthy would fly over to Sardinia, to the Emerald Coast there. When an area is wealthy, it's usually a little safer. For obvious reasons. What else was I going to talk about? I have a list here. Sometimes I write down the topics just to remind myself. Yeah, so the new Planet Ocean does have a wait list. It is an exclusive item. They aren't above Rolex in that way. Oh, at least we can buy it. No, you can't actually. Unless they know you well, they're probably going to pick you before they'll pick some unknown. But that display I just showed you from my short on YouTube, it said for display purposes only. So I'm sure they'll let you try it on the wrist. But if you want to walk in and buy it right now, you can't. Now, in a few months, you probably will be able to. Because I doubt that Omega Planet Oceans, no matter how nice they might look, are going to be flying out the door. One of the most ridiculous things I heard on my recent video about Rolex scarcity and the wait list and all of that, there was a lot of comments that are just like, oh my God. One of them was just like, oh yeah, we're supposed to believe they don't have any watches. Meanwhile, we can see them all in the window. I'm like, how can you even see 10 feet in front of you? Like, how short-sighted do you need to be to say something like that? Yes, we can see them all in the window because they're not for sale. If all of a sudden all the watches in the Rolex windows were for sale, they'd be gone. 10 minutes. Disappeared. Like it was, like, remember back in 2021, 2022, before they kind of started doing this for exhibition only thing in the windows, you'd go by a Rolex store and it would be the saddest thing you've ever seen because there'd be nothing in the store. It'd be all these fancy glass panels and stands with nothing on the stands. Do you remember that? But then they started this new strategy of like, okay, just stick them in the windows. Some of them apparently had fake movements. There was no, the seconds hand wasn't moving, and were literally display only. And then some of them were real watches, but just not for sale, or they had to sit in the window for a certain period of time before they would allow the AD to actually consider them stock. It was their only way of tackling this terrible situation where you'd pass by a Rolex display and there'd be nothing in it. Because that was a reality we all got used to. I bought my first Rolex in 2018. And it was the Yachtmaster Rhodium dial, which is now called the Slate dial. Still one of my favorites. And I would pass the AD all the time. And all they had was fucking solid gold this and solid gold that. And diamond this and diamond that. And I walked by one day and there was a steel piece. This is 2018. We're going back. And I was like, what's that? I didn't even, at the time, I didn't know the Rolex catalog like I do these days, obviously. And there was this Yachtmaster. And I thought, that's fucking gorgeous. Now, of course, I thought it was steel. It's actually got a platinum bezel. but the rest of the watch is steel, and it has a steel sports look. And I went, that's new, because I got to know their window pretty well. It was nearby my house, so I passed there regularly. And I went straight in. I said, I saw that thing in the window. What's that? And they're like, oh, yeah, we just put it in there. We have a little bet going on here in the store. How long? Tony says 10 minutes. I say 20. Manager says maybe 30 minutes. They had like $20 bet on how long it would be in the window before it disappeared. And I bought it. And that was about 15 or 20 minutes after they put it in the window. That's in 2018, guys. It's before the mania happened. And they gave me a $500 discount as well. I think it was 1,100 euros at the time. That watch is more expensive now from the AD, like them all. And they gave me a 500 euro discount on it. That's unheard of today. But no, the watch world is dead. The watch market is dead, right? That's why I made that video during the week. I got a lot of hate for that one, by the way, but I don't give a shit. Because it frustrates me seeing other YouTubers spreading this fucking nonsense. And boy, do they do it. They're a sick bunch, I have to say. Half of them. More than half of them. Twisted bunch, just looking for clicks. If you listen to them, it would be like watching, any news channel, CNN or Fox or any of them. War, famine, death, AIDS, depression, murder, rape, and then you look out your window and there's like nothing. If you just imagine you stayed at home and never left your house, you would think the world is just you, like stepping out the door, you'd immediately be raped, because it's their job to tell you how all these terrible things that are happening in the world. That's fine. But you have to keep your wits about you and realize, just like we were saying about London, right now there are tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people with beautiful watches on, sitting, enjoying dinner in some fine restaurant in London. God knows London has some of the best restaurants on earth. If you're a culinary kind of guy, a foodie, as they say, London's a great town. And they're enjoying their watches and they're not even bothered, and they'll go home and they'll make it home safe. We'll just hear about those couple that did get attacked. So it's the same thing in this watch world. If you're going to listen to some of these people, you would think that Rolex are desperate to sell you a watch, and Omega are desperate to sell you, and so on and so forth. The reality on the ground is very different. But there's a problem. One, people are gullible and they listen to these fucking YouTubers. I'm a YouTuber, so I'm part of the problem, right? But there's that. And second of all, there's people out there who just want it to be true. They're the worst. They just want it to be true. They don't have enough money for a Rolex, sorry, or even an Omega. And they just hate seeing guys with fucking nice watches, getting on the wait list for a gold Daytona. It just pisses them off. And it's Schadenfreude. They just want to see the world fall down, So they love that. The market is dead. You won't be able to give away your Rolex. It just gives them a boner, So they finally feel vindicated. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. But there's a lot of them out there. And when they see a YouTube video with a worried looking face, I'm not going to say who, but I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count, and a fucking downward arrow, red arrow, saying, things are going to get worse, nurse. Things are going to get dismal. Put that hearse in reverse, nurse. Make it something real abysmal. they just click on it because they're like, oh, now I'm going to feel better about myself for the evening because I love my Seiko. God damn it! There's nothing wrong with Seiko or Hamilton or Longines. We love them. But there's no reason to scoff at some other guy who's done a little bit better and buys himself a Rolex. But it's always been the case, in traffic, some guy in a Honda Civic next to another guy in a Rolls Royce. And what does he say? He goes, fucking prick. It's just jealousy. That's all it is. You're supposed to learn somewhere in your teens how to wrestle that bull to the ground. Jealousy is should not be found in adults. Sorry, I'm wrestling with the window. I don't want to leave the window open because we have the Bora winds coming in that are like -0, -1 or something, under freezing. But I also don't want to keep it closed because I'm smoking a cigar, so I'm wrestling here. So that's why I made that video last week. It's just like, I have to kind of show the reality versus the fear mongering. It's fucking reckless. Please and thank you. There are plenty of real failures in the world without having to fantasize about them there being more. I know. Outrage mining, that's what it's called, Andy. Here's the funny thing. I started getting people criticizing me for the video because I made the video titled, "Oh, the watch world is in crisis," because I was parodying, or I wasn't doing a parody, rather. I was doing a critique, an attack, if you will, on another channel. Couple of other channels, but one in particular that's just particularly egregious when it comes to this sort of stuff. And it was irony, the whole thing, but a lot of people miss the irony. I'm supposed to be the excited, I hear the watch market is dead. It's going to be so easy now to buy whatever I want. And then I come out of the store going, what's happening? But I thought they said... Some people are like, shame on you for using clickbait. I'm like, that's the spirit. Can you apply that same logic now across YouTube? Ritual 89, greetings from Brisbane, mate. Doing something exciting this weekend. No, I'm working. I'm behind time on videos. This week has just been I had a lot of things happening at the same time. And I'm behind on videos that I'm supposed to be delivering. The problem with when you're making a good video, like a good arty video, you can't have any distractions, Even one distraction in the day is going to buckle you. You need to fucking become a hermit and just live on coffee and wine and cigars and hide away from the world and forget to shave or shower and just push the video through. Then you can come back to the world again. Or at least that's my experience. I'll never understand people who are like, okay, so I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to drop the kids off at school. Then from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., I'm going to go into my studio and be creative. And then I'm going to go and get groceries. And I'm like, how do you can just program the creativity to just come, just arrive in that moment. So I can't do that. I have to sit around and wait for it to pass over me like a seizure or something. I kind of have a regimented. Somebody asked me last week, "What's like? Take us through your typical day." I'm like, "You think I have a typical day? I don't have any. I haven't had a typical day since I was a kid. There's no such thing as a typical day." I was just talking to my daughter about this. Her mom is a planner. These people are real planners. I sometimes get messages from planners. Hey, I love your channel. I'm going to be in Venice in 2020, in March of 2026 or something. Would love to buy you dinner and show you my watch collection. I'm like, I have no idea if I'm going to be alive. I don't know where I'm going to be. Maybe I'll just still be here. Sure, that's a good possibility. There's every other possibility I'll wind up in prison or dead or move to a completely different town. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing that weekend. Do you think I have a calendar? I write down these. What are you talking about? I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Whereas her mom is a big planner. She'll like plan a holiday trip 6 months ahead of time. I'm like, that's an incredible amount of confidence you have there. 6 months away? I go on holiday, I decide right now, and then I'm flying the following morning. There's no planning. And thank God there isn't, because then you're kind of stuck in this regiment then. There's no shift, there's no movability. The interesting things can't happen. You're not allowing for possibilities. At least that's the way I see it. Like when I did that Trump video last year, the Trump watch, I was in the middle of a big edit on something else. And somebody texted me and was like, "Oh my God, did you see Trump released a watch for 100 grand, solid gold?" I was like, really? Now, had I been one of these regimented people, I would have been like, oh, well, I'm in the middle of an edit on another video, so maybe I'll look at it later in the week. But I'm not one of those guys, so I was just like, all right. And I just dropped what I was doing and sat down here and did a little stupid 5-minute thing. And the fucking thing went viral. And I was featured on CNN and everything. You see? I don't know how many times I've been like, decided to cook in, like buy groceries. I'm staying in, I'm going to cook. And then I get a text from some guy and he's like, "Hey, we're out drinking, come on." And rather than say, "Oh no," I go, "Fuck it." And I drop everything. And then next thing I, wind up meeting some beautiful woman. That wouldn't have happened. So you get the picture. But that used to freak out my I have a great friendship with my daughter's mom. But I remember that used to freak her out. She was such a planner. Everything had to be on a calendar and 6 months, 8 months ahead, a year ahead. I'm like, I don't know if I'll make it to lunchtime, darling. Just every minute you have with me, you just count it as a blessing, because I might just fall off the world. Maybe that's why it didn't work. Yeah. Travis Watts, the Trump Watch commercials, perhaps even more cringe than the watch itself. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It was a bit of a laugh just looking at that. Somebody asked me recently, has anyone ever seen one of the actual gold ones in the wild? It's a really good question because there's plenty of the cheap ones. I don't know if we've seen any of the gold ones anywhere, which would corroborate to some degree people's theory about the watch, that it was just a secret way of taking donations. The guy wants donations now because he feels like he's going to be impeached by the evil Democrats. And now he's got billions. He's made so much fucking money in the past 10 months. Swindling the system. Good for him. Swindle away, man. They fucking deserve it. But, rather than put his hand in his pocket and defend himself from the incoming impeachment, because now the files are going to, who knows what those files are going to look like. I reckon there was a full team with a bunch of shredders in the middle of the night redacting everything, but whatever. Maybe something will slip through and then he'll get impeached. But he wants the fucking American people to pay for it. And here's the funny part. They will. Or some of them will. That's the sad part. Let me put on a different watch. Oh my God, honey, did you see Trump is going to get impeached by the evil Democrats? We better send him our hard-earned dollars. Okay, honey. How about this? Let me go for a big heavy hitter. Kaboom! I haven't worn this in a week or two. Put this puppy on. Big bombastic AP. By the way, anybody worried about this thing scratching? This thing is silver and it's uber smooth. I would never wear this one. See the way this one's this is also silver. I would never wear this next to a watch because it would definitely scratch it. It's kind of rougher and more kind of, there's a lot more shape. This thing is just uber smooth. So it doesn't actually damage the side of the watches. I've gotten in with a loop to check it and everything. It doesn't. Just in case. I bought a $600 watch from Trump, made in China. Says GU Surgeon, who's a member. Thank you, man. Worth probably $50. That's what somebody said actually on one of on the Rolex video from 2 weeks ago. Somebody's like, "Oh my God, all this trouble and the wait list, blah blah blah, all for a watch made in China. I'm gonna go buy myself an Omega instead." And I thought, you kind of have the wrong way around. It's unlikely that any of the Rolex stuff was made in China. It's actually kind of likely that some of the Omega parts are made in China. Hence, Speedygate. AR photography. What's in the pour, guys? I'm enjoying a red wine, Talisker whiskey. So you mixing grape and grain there, my friend? Be careful with that. I like a good Talisker. Talisker 10, I hope. That's the one. Just be careful mixing those two. Travis Watts, Trump and Mandani met today at the White House. That's going to be fun. Well, Trump is easily kind of swooned, He's impressed by impressive people. He likes a good speaker and a character, and so he's probably going to go. I doubt he's going to attack him. He shouldn't. Danny ain't backing down. I saw a guy on TikTok talking about Arabic numerals. I thought to myself, well, the watch crowd would love this one. He made a fake little post, and it got millions of views. Let me see.
All hell broke loose. I said, Mom, Donnie is expected to require all New York elementary school students to learn Arabic numerals. As a Jewish American, I still support this 100%. In a day, it got 14 million views and 33,000 comments. Comments like this one, and this is why Democrats lose general appeal. Kids can barely count in English. How about focus on improving English education first? Why? WTF is wrong with you people? Teach them banking, how mortgages work, and how not to go into debt. But Brian thinks this is good, LOL, sell out. Because his intent is to turn New York City into an Islamic enclave. WTF would an American elementary school child need to learn Arabic numbers? So for those who don't know, Arabic numerals are the numbers that we currently use in present America. It's almost as if their Islamophobia fogged their brains so much that they couldn't even Google what an Arabic numeral was.
Right, that wouldn't happen in the watch world, would it? Because we know what Arabic numerals are. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the numerals we know. That's Arabic numerals. But I just thought that was clever that he made that post and people start freaking out. Like, oh my God. Yeah, well, I'm a fan of Mamdani. Of course I am. How could I not be? He's looking out for the poor guy. The guy who shines your shoes. The guy who makes your egg sandwich on the way to work. The guy who pours your coffee. The guy who drives your bus or your train. That's who he's concerned about. What an evil man. He should be worried about those billionaires, man. They are the ones that have it hard. Uriah says we need to go back to Roman numerals and forget calculus. I don't remember where I learned Roman numerals. I guess it was in school. Do you ever meet anyone who doesn't know how to read? Like, because here, all the signs, statues, and plaques on the walls everywhere around Italy, it's all Roman numerals, you know. My daughter can read it immediately. Sometimes I see a big long one. I'm like, okay, hold on. MMCCV, you know, I have to figure and work it all out. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, so it's 1577. Got it. Whereas she will do it like it's fluent, like it's like asking her to read a regular number. She'll just go, oh my God, it's 50, you know, 1577. Immediately. I guess that's Italian education. Kind of goes without saying that you know who Giotto was and Galileo and learn some Latin and stuff like that. Eel Cobb 6815. I saw a YouTube video with young people who can't read an analog clock. Well, that's more understandable, isn't it? I mean, why would they need to? They look at their phone and tells them the time. An analog clock is kind of a funny thing. You know, 12 hours that repeats, you know. It is somewhat of an anachronism when you think about it. It's a lovely one, but it is kind of weird. I honestly, it's because of my age. I still think of time as the 12-hour dial. I see it. I feel the hour when I see the shape. And it probably happens when I look at the time on my phone. I probably translated it a bit onto the dial. That's why I always thought like numerals aren't necessary. What's going on with me? Some audio problems go on. I don't necessarily need numerals or even indices on a watch. On a watch dial. You can remove the indices off the watch and I'll still be able to read the time. I assume most of you are the same. Tom Navalny, you have a lot to say tonight. It's the last one I'm reading from you because you didn't even super chat. People freaking out about Mamdani. Write it correctly, please. His not governor. I don't know what you mean there. Is not governor? I don't know. 70% of what he promised. You're so, I can feel your ire. It's so bad. You couldn't punch in the words fast enough. What he promised was unrealistic because he hasn't got the power to do those things. I'm correcting your English as I go. It's just populism. Hey, I think all politicians are like that. They have to promise a lot of stuff. Do you remember? I'm gonna solve the Russia-Ukraine thing in one day. My first day in office, I'm gonna end that war. Remember that? Anybody think that was realistic? No, I didn't even. Why would you expect him to be able to be doing that? But you have to promise a lot of bullshit, don't you? So people vote for you. I'll end the Palestine conflict in one day. It still hasn't happened. They got their hostages back and then went, okay, let's start bombing them again. Yay. Is this what you call a ceasefire? Yeah. We have a special definition of a ceasefire. It's where they cease firing and we keep firing. That's what ceasefire is. We get our hostages back. Then we stick them on planes to South Africa. Same day I will eliminate inflation. By the way, how are groceries doing in the States? Everything real cheap again? There's Brian. Great to see you, man. I watched a grandmother show and explain how to use a payphone to her 6-year-old granddaughter at Disney World last week, and explain that was how we made phone calls in the old days. Yes. Well, we used to dial as well. I bet that payphone was numerals. Think of the dial, spin the dial. You stick your finger in, you spin the dial. Anybody with a bunch of zeros or nines in their number, you're like, oh, fuck that shit. I'm not calling him. It'll take forever because you have to go all the way around and wait for it to go all the way back and then all the way around. Which used to freak me out as well because when I was a kid, I'd watch TV, like American TV, and emergency was 911, right? 911 is called emergency, which made sense to me. But in Ireland, emergency was 999. And I thought that's the longest. It should be 111 because one you just grab and then it goes right back. 111, it's nice and fast. If you're in an emergency situation, someone's breaking in your house or something, 111. But no, it was 999. It was the longest one. I was like, well, whoever thought of that wasn't thinking. 911 makes a bit more sense, right? It's opposite ends of the keypad, so you're not going to dial it by accident because you have to go from the bottom right up to the top left. It's very deliberate, but it's also a little quicker, made more sense. It was more practical. Joe LaFaro, too many nines. Why does this cigar always get way better at the very end, man? It's like a swan song or something. It's the very end. It apologizes to you. I know it's been a difficult hour, but now I'm going to make things nice and sweet. It's like that last date. You ever do that, guys? When she decides she needs to break up with you. So you go, okay, fair enough. Well, at least I'll buy you dinner and we'll talk about how things went. And you don't do any of the freaking out or you just reminisce. Oh, well, we had a good run. You have a bit of a laugh about the good times. And then you wind up having sex. If you want the relationship, if you think you're going to get dumped, but you want a couple more weeks out of the relationship, just go, oh, all right, well, let's have one last drink then and call it quits. And you kind of make it relaxing and you don't do the whole, well, how could you do this to me thing? You kind of go, well, and then it just turns into laughs and fun again. It's like rekindling. There's a trick. It's not me, it's you, Charles. Il Cobb 6815. Have you ever smoked a Dutch cigar? I think I did. A couple of years ago. Someone gave a couple to me. Some viewer who was here in town gave me. It had a weird short name. Can't remember. Right. 999. How many people fell over dead before completing the third 9? Precisely. Precisely, Brian the Pipe. Can you imagine? They're having a heart attack and you have to fucking get in and do a whole 9, wait for the thing to spin all the way back around. The Irish weren't very practical people for a long time. There's Kojak in the room. Good to see you, man. The 999 thing was to give people the opportunity to have a second thoughts about prank calling. Is that a fact? But with keypads makes it more likely. As a matter of fact, 911 in the UK will redirect to 999. That's interesting. Yeah, prank calls. There's some video going around TikTok of some kid who's some 12-year-old kid in the States who thought it would be real funny to prank call the cops. So the whole thing is like the police footage, from their body cams of them arriving, and the parents like, what seems to be the problem, officer? And they're like, oh, we got 911 calls from this address and blah, blah, blah. They eventually figure out it's their daughter who didn't realize the gravity of what she had just done, wasted police time, all out looking for some car, some description or something because they got the call. Well, they arrest the kid. And the dad is, it's really good because the dad is like, well, you're going to learn a lesson now, kid. I tried to teach you a lot, but now you're going to learn a hard one. You're going to spend the night over at the precinct for wasting police time. Yeah, I never thought of that. Or maybe like dialing 999 is, maybe it's to reconsider if it's that important. Maybe it's not a prank call, but it's like, I'm calling the cops, you're an asshole, you know? And then you're in the middle of it and you're like, fuck it. Do I really need to go through this? He's not that bad, or whatever. You know, a lot of police time is wasted on nonsense. Imagine being a police officer. I feel bad for them. The fucking shittest job on earth, man. Just dealing with the worst people in society every single day. You never get to see any nice people, just your colleagues and your family. The rest of the interaction with the species is just the worst of that 1%, 2% of fuck ups every single day. Ugh. It's not a good job. So you can imagine how many fucking calls. He's a bastard. He threatened me. Oh boy. That family are having a barbecue in their garden and they're not allowed to have a barbecue and the smoke is coming over into my garden. What seems to be the problem, madam? He's filming me with that. Yeah, but you're in a public place. You're on the street. He's allowed to film you. You can film him back. It's got to be 9 out of 10 calls that are bullshit, right? Or a sandwich at ICE's. GU surgeon. Yeah, ICE. Real fun. Fun bunch. Arresting people at their workplace. I thought the immigrants didn't work. They didn't get a job, right? They're just skimming the system. So why are you arresting them at their workplace? They're there washing dishes in some kitchen for minimum wage. Oh, well, we use IRS data to figure out where they... Oh, IRS data. Oh, so they're paying taxes too. Cool. Got it. So that's not the problem either. Well, we got the guy at the courthouse. Oh, yeah, the courthouse where he was going to get his papers in order. I see. I'm seeing a pattern here, guys. And it isn't immigrants abusing the system. John M. Anderson, who are you? Hey, Ocean, are you a they? No, I'm not. No, I'm a he. Why? Have you got it? Are you being facetious? Are you anti-woke? You like being asleep? I like sleeping too, man. It's one of my favorite pastimes, but I prefer being awake. Same guy. Do you see the chemtrails over Venice? They're constantly flying overhead here in Los Angeles. You're being funny. The chemtrails. So anyway, I'm real engaging, aren't I? What an amazing podcaster. I might be the laziest podcaster there is. I'm supposed to keep things upbeat. Keep you guys engaged the whole time. Jump from topic to topic. Keep a nice, healthy pace. What else was there in my topics list? Oh, yeah, Deepak Chopra's in the Epstein files. I'm so happy. I always thought that guy was a fucking scam. Him and Eckhart Tolle. Deepak Chopra in particular. Apparently, he texted Epstein at 1 a.m. Had a blast last night. Thanks so much. Love it. Oh, yeah, Miss Palestine. That was another thing. Miss Mexico got Miss Universe. Was that it? Miss World or Miss Universe, whatever it was. Mexico got it. Well, we were all rooting for Miss Palestine. She's so beautiful as well. Oh, my God. It was nice following that whole thing. I'm not really into beauty pageants. I think they're a bit misogynistic, but this one I'll give a pass. Just because they need a little hope, those people. They're fucking lost, man. In recent years, they're the most shat-on people possible. Just lost people, left high and dry by society. God help them. How's the AP? You guys loving it? I didn't do a Zoom in, did I? It's very me, this watch. But I should put on some more of my Cadora watches, just so you guys see how nice they are. It's a good time to buy someone a watch that's not too expensive, something unique. Nice gift. Good way to support the channel too. Not gonna lie. We don't make much money on these watches, honestly. It's just to do something fun and interesting. This is the Tiger Eye stone dial that I showed you guys earlier. Where is that clip? Oh, yeah. To replay that way. Yeah, here it is. So you can see the stone dials up close and what they look like, the texture on them, you know. There's the Tiger Eye. Look. Oh, do you see that? As the light passes over the stone. That's beautiful. I have to say, I think that's my favorite. People love the green, though. Green really pops in sunlight. The malachite. There's the Aventurina. Starry Night. The Van Gogh, we should call it. There's the malachite again. The turquoise, pretty nice. Oh yeah, this is when I get the iPhone. I point it from a different direction so it catches all the striations on across the dial. Lovely. Stone dials are very interesting. Andy London, $5. Policing is very satisfying when you put a murderer in prison for a long time. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there has to be some payoff in those moments. I can see that. Yes. Alejandro Fejo. I should try this Cuban cigar, J&R. Deliciados. Maybe you can find them in Italy. Okay, I'll look out for those. I think I might have seen those. Yeah, we don't have an embargo here, so we get the Cuban cigars at a very good price. They're not really any more expensive than any other cigar, honestly. But there has been a supply issue. There's very little stuff coming out of Cuba. To you, Serge, I'm waiting for my Malachite. Amazon delivered me a 75-inch TV. My mistake. Will I get another TV? Are you one of the guys who bought the Malachite? If that's the case, they're all out. I shipped everything. They've all been shipped already. I should put on the other one. I had the blue on earlier. I'll put on the black one. I don't have the marble. We're out of the marble, I think. I think the guys over in the store have one left. So I don't have one here. And I don't have, what's the other one? Can't even think. Oh yeah, I don't have a green here either. Yeah, there's the black one. Starry Night. Sexy. It's my daughter's favorite one. She was here the past couple of days. She was looking at them. She's like, I like this one. Too big for her, though. Took a great photo. I should show you guys. Dropped her off at the train station there. And we took a nice photo of our Seamasters. Email that to myself here. We were freezing cold. It was crazy wind today. But we both have 300 M's. I'll pull it up so you can see. It's fun. It's nice matching watches. Kojak again. New Planet Ocean. My hot take is the bracelet with polished center links on a tool watch is odd. Okay. And the switch from lyre to straight lugs makes it look like it was designed for ease of manufacturing. Ooh, that's a hot take. That is a hot take. I like straight lugs. I think they're sexier than lyre lugs. Here's the Seamasters. Look at that. That's the two of us in the train station. We were having a coffee before she jumped on her train. Hers has the chrome bezel, see? It's 36. Matching up. Such a great watch. That's what I'll put on just to finish up the show. Looks so great on her as well. Listen, obviously with these watches, we're not like reinventing the wheel. Clearly, they're inspired by Datejust. It's not like we're breaking new ground or anything. The stone dial is nice. You can't get a date just with a stone dial. So the dials are frankly more interesting than date just dials. They simply are. But obviously it's not going to be the level of a $10,000 or $12,000 watch. That's a different thing. Actually, we were talking about the Seamasters last night, and she was, because she has a few watches. She has a Cartier Tank Franchise, some other stuff, which is obviously a smaller, lighter watch on her little tiny wrist. But she was like, the Seamaster is so silky and comfortable. It's like, it's true, man. The bracelet is so perfect and silky and smooth. It was back when Omega cared more. That might be the best looking watch I wore tonight. What do you think? Do you agree? It's a beauty. Who needs more than that? Nobody needs anything more than a Seamaster 300M. A tool watch that also carries a lot of elegance. If it's good enough for Daniel Craig and Pierce Brosnan, it's good enough for me. Please and thank you. My favorite thing about the new Planet Ocean is that the old ones, of which a great one can be found used for around 4, might come down a bit more in the next year or so. That's true. It's going to affect, it's going to be less demand for the older ones. So now maybe is a good time, or the next 6 months, it's going to be a good time to get yourself a Planet Ocean, or a Planet Ocean, as Anthony says. I have a lot of people call me Ocean. It is a funny name. My dad didn't like that name. My mom wanted Ocean. My dad didn't like it at first. It's extremely Irish. Thinking and Linking Limited. Don't know you. Have you seen the new Zin 104 Classic 12? No. Is it nice? I like Zin. I think Zin are solid. Very solid. Very interesting. And a lot of watch for the money. I'm pleased and thank you. I'll get the old Planet Ocean with the Arancha bezel. What a meandering, loose rant full of nonsense tonight. Sorry, guys. Some nights I have more vigor than others. Joel Farrell, that never holds true of Rolex. When the prices of the new ones go up, the prices of the pre-owned ones go up too. Yeah, that's true, especially if something's discontinued. Yeah, Rolex is kind of separate to a lot of stuff in many ways. Certainly. Oh, shit. Just got a text from my daughter. Ornella Vanoni died. Ornella Vanoni died. No way. I'm a fan of hers. Oh, no way. If you want to hear the great Italian songs from the 50s and 60s, Ornella Vanoni. It was a great moment in music, man. I like Senza Paura, and I like La Rosa Spogliata. They're my two favorites from her. Dang. È morta Ornella Vanoni. Well, she's a ripe old age, 91. She had a good life. She had the best of Italy, man. What's going on here? Oh, Jesus Christ. These websites. Some of these Italian websites are shameless. They're advertising everywhere. Look. Get out of here. Oh my God. What a mess. There, back to Corriere della Sera. You know better than to fucking plaster your shit with ads. Ornella Vanoni, the giant of Italian music, has died in Milan at the age of 91. The singer of Senza Fine, Io ti darò di più, and L'appuntamento, born in 1934. Wow. That was a beautiful moment in Italian music. It was her and Mina and a few others. It's great stuff. I'd play a song of hers, but I don't want to get shut down. Look her up, guys. Look up La Rosa Spogliata, the undressed rose. Or Senza Paura, which means without fear. I wonder, can I pull up some of her lyrics here just for laughs? Vanoni. Senza Paura in English. That's a great album there. It's actually really hard to sing in Italian because it's all very, very fast. Ma come fai quando tu sei bambino? Prendere il coraggio, fede nel destino. Se papà ti mette nel castigo buio, poi di notte a letto, zitto che c'è lupo, zitto che c'è lupo, zitto che c'è lupo. It's like really hard. I'm finding it difficult even now. Without fear, how do you, when you're a kid, to have courage and faith in destiny? If dad locks you in the dark as punishment, and at bedtime, quiet, the wolves are coming, because it's like the boogeyman. You should go to bed or the boogeyman will come. Here they say the wolf. Zito che c'è lupo. Then mom says, I'll call the boogeyman. I'll call it Bao Bao. The boogeyman is Bao Bao in Italian. He's going to eat you whole in the dark night. He's going to sting you. And then the chorus goes, but you should go through the dark without fear. Senza paura. And it repeats that over and over again. Go through the dark without fear. Then all of a sudden you come to an age when you're madly in love with the wrong man. There's no escape, not here nor there. It doesn't translate well, but you can imagine it all rhymes in Italian. Your father will yell, your mother will pray, your mother will pray, your mother will pray. Then the lover jumps off a building because it is easy, then becomes hard, because life is hard, life is hard, life is hard. But go through love without fear, without fear, without fear. That's the chorus. Danger exists as part of the game. Don't bother about it, or you won't live long. Keep strong, start again, start again, start again. Even on the road, you're in danger. You're distracted, lost in thought. The garbage truck is coming, and the driver increases his pace. But go through the road without fear, without fear, without fear. Then some nice day of any week, he knocks on the door. It's a telegram. He's calling you. For some, it comes soon, for others, late. But sooner or later, calm and confident, he will come without notice and take you. Go through death without fear, without fear, without fear. That's how it translates. You won't hear a song like that. You'll hear it in Italian, but now you know what they're saying. So you'll enjoy it. Rest in peace, Ornella. Well. All right, guys. Is Dirk live? I'll go over to Dirk. It's pretty much the only reason I do this show anymore. It's just to send a few people over to Dirk. Hi, Bashers. Yeah, he's live. Hi, Bashers. Yeah. Well, she was 91. She lived a good life. I'm not going to live till 91. Let's go over to Dirk. I'll leave the link in the chat. I'll see you guys over there. Thanks for the laugh. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys again in 10 seconds. Over with Dirk on the iBashers. There's the link in the chat. If you leave the stream running, you might be popped over automatically. That would be great. Have a good night, guys.